Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Our mission right now is pretty simple. We're going to cut straight through the relentless buzzwords and look at the actual measurable impact of artificial intelligence in our world today. I mean, we hear about AI constantly, right? But what is it actually doing for us? And honestly, where does it fall short? Well, we're going to break it all down for you. It really is the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? We are just constantly bombarded with all this AI hype, being promised that it's going to totally revolutionize every single waking second of our work. But is it actually making us more productive? Today, we're going to use hard economic data and real-world case studies to find a definitive answer to that question. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, everyday AI productivity. 2, the hard data. 3, high stakes, healthcare AI. 4, risks and responsibilities. And finally, 5, the human-AI partnership. Section 1, everyday AI productivity, shifting the paradigm. Before we get into all the complex data, let's just remember how deeply AI is already embedded in our daily routines. We're talking dynamic traffic routing in Google Maps or even those spot-on music recommendations on Spotify. When it comes to our actual work, AI acts as this massive accelerator. By instantly drafting emails, generating real-time code, or summarizing an entire meeting in seconds, it basically eliminates that dreaded blank page syndrome. But here's the absolute game changer. The most important paradigm shift: AI is changing your role from a builder to an editor. You literally no longer have to lay every single brick yourself. Instead, you get this massive head start, freeing you up to focus on refining, polishing, and strategizing. Moving on to Section 2, the hard data, proving the hype. So that's the theory, right? But where's the actual proof? Well, a recent massive meta-analysis from the University of Canterbury pulled data from 45 distinct studies. And the result? 17%. Out of a staggering data pool of over 1,000 individual estimates, researchers found that generative AI tools increase productivity by a robust 17% on average. To put that into perspective, across an entire economy, that is a highly significant number. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where that number comes from. When analyzing the effect sizes across these studies, you can see an incredibly dense cluster of data points sitting firmly in the positive range. This establishes real, tangible performance gains. The vast majority of these 1,000 plus estimates show a clear boost, particularly in technical fields. For example, in software development, tools like Copilot are generating absolutely massive leaps in output. But, and this is important, there is a stark contrast in where AI actually excels. When researchers split the data up, they found a 22.6% boost in quantitative tasks. We're talking speed, volume, lines of code. But for qualitative tasks, things like subjective creativity, overall usefulness, or say writing a short story, the boost was only about 5.6%. So AI is currently a whole lot better at just speeding us up than it is at making our ideas inherently more brilliant. Let's look at Section 3, high stakes, healthcare AI. Now, when we take these AI capabilities and apply them to a highly critical, high-stakes sector like healthcare, we move far, far beyond just drafting quick emails. The medical review literature outlines some truly profound societal value here. For instance, we're seeing AI models built to predict high-risk illnesses, like sepsis, well before they escalate. It's enhancing the precision of robotic surgery and even acting as a real-time surgical mentor. Economically speaking, by facilitating earlier diagnoses, like spotting tiny anomalies in X-rays, AI is dramatically reducing post-treatment costs. And on top of all that, by automating tedious administrative tasks, it's actively relieving the massive, often overwhelming workloads on our medical practitioners. Which brings us to Section 4, risks and responsibilities, the catch. So, the crucial point is, we really can't discuss all these incredible benefits without neutrally examining the pitfalls too. Because there is a catch. The most immediate day-to-day risk is what's known as the hallucination trap. See, because AI lacks true human cognitive understanding, it can confidently present entirely fabricated information as absolute fact. If we rely on it blindly, we're just spreading misinformation. Plus, there's the very real danger of the illusion of work. You know the feeling, where instead of actually being productive, we just procrastinate by endlessly tweaking our text prompts, trying to get that one perfect response. In high-stakes environments, there is often this underlying assumption of AI superiority, but history shows us a slightly different reality. For example, historical programs like Mycin back in the 1970s, or even IBM's highly ambitious Watson program more recently, frequently struggled to actually outperform human doctors. Why is that? Well, medical care requires deep integration into clinical workflows and a highly nuanced clinical context that, frankly, machines just don't possess yet. AI models can suffer from overfitting, generating completely irrelevant correlations that ultimately lead to bad predictions. And zooming out to this systemic level, the medical review literature highlights several major vulnerabilities we have to navigate. First up is algorithmic bias. AI learns directly from human data, which means it can very easily reflect and amplify the historical flaws and prejudices present in that training data. Second is accountability. If an AI system makes a medical error, the legal liability between the physician and the software developer is incredibly murky right now. And finally, data privacy. Massive datasets are required to train these tools, and high-profile incidents involving Cambridge Analytica or patient data sharing in the NHS are harsh reminders of the severe risks to personal confidentiality. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this all builds together. The Human-AI Partnership. Despite all these very real risks we just covered, the arrival of AI absolutely does not mean human obsolescence. What it means is job re-engineering. This quote from our sources really summarizes it perfectly. AI is best understood as a highly advanced tool that reflects and amplifies human intent. AI is not inherently good or bad. Its value in solving complex challenges depends entirely on our responsible oversight. It has incredible speed, sure, and unmatched data processing capabilities, but it still fundamentally requires human beings for cognitive complexity, ethical judgment, and contextual understanding. Which leaves us with this final provocative question to consider. Are you ready to step back from being just a builder and embrace your new role as the editor of the AI age? The hard data clearly shows that AI can undoubtedly give you a 17% head start in your daily productivity. But whether you're writing lines of code, running a small business, or diagnosing a patient, the final crucial decisions will always require your distinctly human touch. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.